All right, it's another Monday morning, and that's right, it's time for Marathon Mondays with Mal here in Coburg, Oregon, the world headquarters of Marathon Coach. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I know I did. I know Mickey did. She was out running with her dogs. So here we are. As you can hear, there's some grinding, some polishing going on in the background. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But it's a foggy, let's pan over here, Todd, and take a look. It's a foggy morning at the world headquarters of Marathon Coach. And we're going to be down in the paint department today talking about Coach 1291 with Andy Ibarra and Pete Sutton. And we talked about 1291. We're going to follow it through the process. And today was kind of an important day because we want to talk about paint panels and the extent that our paint department and Pete Sutton go to get the correct paint scheme for the owner. A custom paint job for a custom coach. I love it. 1291. We're going to go over here and listen to the grinding in a second. And when we get over there, we're all going to have to be a little bit louder. That's my Ted Knight. That's my Ted Knight Caddyshack voice. Little bit louder. It's a little John Wayne thrown in there too. All right, Marathon Monday time. Let's do it. Everybody, we've got Andy, as you've met him many times before, and Pete Sutton, you know him quite well also. And we're talking about the paint job of 1291. Let's open up the conversation. I'm going to come on this side, right in the middle of you guys. So let's talk about first the evolution of a custom paint job for the coach owner. So the person, the owner that comes in and talks to you about 1291, how do you start this process of figuring out exactly what they want for their coach?
Oh goodness. We've got about 56,000 photos of coaches and interiors, exteriors. That's usually where we start. We try and find something that's close, so we can try and find a groove. Because we can go simple and elegant to kind of like this red coach in the back, 1257. It's exciting.
I love that color.
And dramatic, and it's got candy. So this particular one, the client wanted something that was very unique, and this thing has a lot of special effects in it. So I'll come up with a design pretty quick. I'll involve Andy, and Andy and I'll start talking special effects and color, because quite often Andy's got fantastic ideas on, Andy lives and breathes, the painting on cars and hot rods. And
absolutely.
I've got the experience in design, not in the special effects. So we'll start collaborating on how to take it beyond just what you see here, which is just ink on paper. And this is a good example of it. It's got
let me ask you this.
A lot of cool stuff.
So you come up with the idea with the customer's. Let's move over this way so we get this guy in the shot. We got Andy in the shot. So you come up with the customer's concept and you put it onto paper, or you put it onto digital form. How do you do that?
Depends on the person. Some people don't like getting in their email. They want to see a physical copy.
Okay.
Or sometimes people like both.
Okay.
So colors can shift a little bit in digital. Every monitor shows colors a little different.
Yeah, right.
But even with that, you can never represent color.
Let's take a look at this.
You can tell this color versus the printed version is different. You just can't get metal ink on print. So eventually Andy has to do a paint panel, and this is kind of, for Andy and I, this big metal panel in the back is our insurance policy. It's making sure the client likes the special effects, make sure that when we blend colors together, they don't do something we don't anticipate, make sure something doesn't go green or some other strange shade.
Right.
All these metallics have something called a flop.
So when you start the process, and I want to get this clear, when you start the process, you come in and you talk to the owner and you get that idea of what the owner wants. You put it on digital form and you put it on paper, and then you and Andy collaborate to put together a panel like this to send to the customer?
Yeah. At this point, this is Andy's world. Yeah, what's happening with the paint panel.
The fourth panel is approved.
So,
but Andy's been involved before this because I usually don't show anything to a client without Andy seeing it first because I don't want to create something that's not paintable.
right. So you get
I'm
his
getting
expertise
better at
involved.
it. Oh my gosh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So Andy, when you get ready to do this, I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. I just love this. In fact, I have one of your, it's probably a practice panel in my office because I just loved the way it looked. It's been up there for a couple of months. Tell me about the process of painting on a panel because you're sending this to the customer. It's actually going out today, right? So you're going to send this to the owner of 1291 for his approval. Is that correct?
Yep.
So what's the process that you did to show him the different elements?
Well, basically, this is almost like doing a section of a coach.
Okay.
You have to do the exact same thing you're doing to the coach. You take notes on how many coats of pearl you put on it, how many coats of black you put on it.
So throughout the process, you're documenting how you did it.
Yeah, I have to make the coach match that.
Okay. So if he says yes, thumbs up, you have to duplicate it on a 45-foot bus. Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive. This is really beautiful, you guys. And I don't know how well Todd can see it on camera, but for something that's known as a sample that's going to the customer just for them to give the thumbs up, the approval, this is absolutely beautiful.
And a lot of work.
Yeah. How long does this take, Andy?
It depends. This specific one, the weeding of this section here, this is about 2 hours worth of work. This weeding that vinyl out.
And let's make sure that we can see this. The fade. It's stronger here. This pattern is stronger here, and it fades out into nothing. This whole, that is beautiful. And Andy's got a light here to help us. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah, and we should probably mention when he mentions vinyl, it's a vinyl stencil to create the pattern. There's no vinyl on the bus itself.
It's all paint.
It is all paint. It's just we use the vinyl as a stencil to get these patterns rather than trying to line them out by hand.
That is just beautiful. You know, we talk a lot about the craftsmen that work here at Marathon. Andy, I know you're a behind-the-scenes guy and don't necessarily like being in front of the camera, but you are the epitome, not to play your horn, but let me go find my trumpet. You are the epitome of a true artist, a true craftsman. When you look closely, can we see that light again up on this? When you show off how much work goes into doing this just so we can send it to the customer for their approval. I mean, this is a frameable, beautiful piece of art. Well done. That's just beautiful. So, the reason we're down here in the cold here, looking at what Pete has done up on paper, what Andy has done on the panel, is because 1291 is down in Andy's department now. We saw it last week as the shell arrived. Now it's going to be down here. Approximately how long is it in the paint department?
5 weeks.
5 weeks. Depending on the difficulty, depending on
5 weeks.
Depending on 5 weeks. A production schedule is exactly that.
I don't have the luxury of saying I need 6 weeks, 7 weeks in this one.
Gotcha.
It's
Just
5 weeks.
Just go, get it done. I like it. Get it done and get it done right. So they just stopped a little bit. You can hear it over there. So let's head over there and take a look at 1291 because I want to ask you a few questions about what's going on right now. I think we just hit break time, didn't we?
Yep.
Okay. So here's 1291. What is this bay called? Is this just
Polish bay.
the polish bay?
Polish bay.
Okay. So before it gets painted, the stainless is polished on the sides of an X3. Why is that?
It adds more shine to the stainless. It comes in with a bit of a graininess to the stainless.
So
these
from the
guys-
Prevost factory?
Yeah.
Okay.
And these guys polish everything out, all the defects and minor grain.
Now, when we were talking about this, prior to going live this morning, I was watching. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's hard work.
It's a lot of hard work. Hopefully you guys can still hear us over the sound. How long will they work on that?
10 days, 2 weeks.
2 weeks on polishing that? Wow. 2 weeks of polishing stainless.
8 hours, 3 guys.
8 hours, 3 guys, 2 weeks. That's amazing. But it's a significant part of the paint job. Is that correct?
Paint goes right up to it. Things look better.
Wow. Let's move on over here. Mickey, are there any questions for Andy or Pete before we say good morning to everybody?
We don't have questions, but we have people talking about what an amazing work of art the paint team does.
It really is.
How it is frameable, how the X's are some people's favorite, and lots of greetings from across the nation.
Yeah, this is really impressive. And as you can see from the other side, it's just a piece of sheet metal. It's a piece of sheet metal that Andy has painted on. And this is the process. This is the in-depth process that Marathon goes to make sure that the customer is happy. And it's just beautiful. Well, you guys, thank you so much for your time. I know that the people that watch Marathon Mondays really appreciate seeing this full transparency of what it takes to make a beautiful luxury coach here at Marathon. So big thanks to Andy Ibarra and the whole paint department, and Pete Sutton, who is not only the head of marketing. Talk about wearing some hats. Pete Sutton, who we've talked about many times before. We saw him with he's working on photo shoots yesterday. He's working on paint today. Lots of hats. So hope everyone has a good Monday. Feel free to email me at malw@marathoncoach.com if you have any comments or questions. And it's really foggy out here. So take care, everyone. We'll see you next Monday.